Ghana for me chobia. Mobiajo. Me didn't the Kwabna Hinkai. Na there were a few clips out there. And then me what you and I met here or so for baby. I don't know say a friend is saying. Radio so there. One so for a more or something. In fact I like him too. Because you're very bold, he is more prophetic. Then comes and crowd there cut across the continent, the Atlantic Ocean, who can summarize UK just a very, very nice. Now, and then as a Nura DB meeting and all can't be about ye be wo or comfort not your bedi chibi or Ghana. Ya santimem. Na a normal obey no, tea ho. A normal obey no. A soft will be Ghana. And I'll be good so I saw for the show mokina because already in for dinner. Christos soon a suspect that these are his words. And I'm saying, hey, na mukano cry na ye day. Nyame sumunko and a Christos sumsunko. Intino, and on a metia and a true Messiah Cobham say, any idea cry no. Let me make my mind clear cry to my folks kakransana as I atiafaso. Because I didn't ban one cabisana and I want can on refi. She says Benny Pedro no. Information age, it move very fast. And to just a little history here, because I've given my story a little bit before in one of my clips, and Mr. Share and like it, and subscribe to my channel because the ever banner. I feel Yesu road kwa Yebeko highway so. Because you who say anka will be anka. Because nya chum na dos. Katasumu mwaso no ados. Na yemi bi wo ha yentimi hu ade enye ne ntonchen se de hu ye. Yenya hu nko ade yebeka ho asem. Yeah, no matter what. So tisana we na koye. Enti so for mo akwanse mo kan na make say, na one thing he said in his statement and he said on cancer conforno bana ye bone akola na was by 12 years old and no more be na Ghana no enya sam ketoa na asofo ni show musapo moden yes sir because already as of na a suspect na me say ono asa ka say keyword o say yes on kasa ye bone why the two cannot go together e kra mo masima go dimenim the two cannot go together eso be nwuna no enyu be hia no ahye. And to no agina homa prophecy ahodo I can't say the Bible is the ultimate final truth under the sun. And to be biya ya bonsansem no. But onu ansa gya onu tuma kasa on kasa ye bone. Nti enya bone na ye die. No konfo no ba na ye bia no ma obeye. Nti ene Kristo so no bebo abura na. Would it be okay? Can you have both? No. Kristo sum ye adwuma. One cry na kasa em set it defo. Say ya adwuma. What you say? Ya adwuma. Montie no ase. Montie no ase wie a. Afeni ho say okay, mo ya adwuma like every other job because my registration ade amokoye o register general na ade nya. It has nothing to do with no worshiping of no God. What you say? Tumunya tie no so na mo kan wi say dey confess obi no ya adwuma jiska. Say be na mo ye. It has nothing to do with no heaven, no salvation, no nothing. Emfa ho kohwe. And again, menchim kakra and chair my kakra. Now we will be able to say, now for him about the ben out there over say, who how dare you even talk about Dr. Otabil? No near that. Let be way title. I'm a day man and a Dr. Otabil should come again. Yeah, you heard me. Dr. Mensah Otabil, so I'm ready. And you're before, and I'm a trust stage, and I don't want to do that. And you're necessary. It doesn't bring, because at the end of the day, Nipa would dear tell me, one I'll be here so many no money. Because they have a huge crowd and a huge following. What I say? Until Umo dear tell me there. At the end of the day, them said they will come back to their senses. No more jai. They may come one and say truth for the truth. Would that be any year? You just have to say it in a nicer way. That's all. To me say Mensah Otabil should come again with what he really meant to do or meant to say. What I say? And then or make amends and correct it normal. And that will be fine. After all, when you're scary, is there a chance that go no? Oh, when you're scary, you cry, there be a bank near that. And the historic account say, me miss me a soft for my pa. Bow at it me. Man, because yes, of on a woman, dear. Miss you free montem. To me, Papa Bishop Bob Hodgson. Bishop Bob Hodgson. Or Fremont chair. 2012 no Fremont. I'm in crazy year. On na me fan and semo. And on na sorry I yet and a friend of Jubilee. It used to be called People's Church of Ghana. A year Rollins time. About 78. And that right there tells you, say, at the timelines now, buy and yeah function as People's Church. There was no action. There was no agenasari. There was no friend saying central. No money system no more. In fact, I can boldly tell you, say, we're looking up to him at some point as a mentor until day 2 got their turn. But in fact, Mensah Otabil, Bob Hodgson who ye on BCC na chimaye. What I say? Intino ne bra penyin no. And then Intina make us say, mean to be manuntiano. Or ye penny come. But he has to come again. And I'm saying that because of exactly what he has said before and what he has written. What I say? Mra your youth ministry man ye did intima ye chini nanti ye crusades nya de no. Ye crusades it mean invite man baby. This is where we were deep into church stuff. Into church history no ye kurem kakra. And see ye can be an yesibia if you know where near theory video be near kind some debi. We have history and perspective too. So nipa wa nyina anko wani ma onyi ko achi. Yeah, na papa sem be baby wo yo so ko baby. Na sa akola etu penifo. Se penny no se hia na no yare. Se for who grab just but a very funny proverb what you say. And we penny o 350 corner. So I was say kind of cray. There's no sense in it. And they make see asem so say Mensah Otabil has to come again. Naked they mean can say because I don't know we're a whole different animal. In a sense that between him and me old man cry, not just a team be as a rift be in the challenge be but at the time I no play student or in the house hono. Now Bob Hodgson I bet na sorry that I'll run a church. So and we were having ministry exchanges, student exchange between Nigeria and the house and People's Church. Right. And the Odi Memphis on Tinja, no moment tokwa. Only Yammy and Vivi free moko. Is ya come? Ombeka dachi. But my point is, Dr. Mensah Otabil has to come again. Because I say, Masaswa when a clip be our year, more like, I don't know if Nanya interview was more like a TV show. But he seemed to be now trying to defend the Roman Jesus story or concept, more than what he had actually written prior. Nibuku even fanchamo. Beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. Nibuku ne. Ndina was we. Yeah. Okay, buku ya na abu say. He saw something. But he came as far as only an entire shim ne din to ne mannerisms near there. And or put to halt. Near Kana, I had the business side that they run a ministry in there. He kept it going. And my question is why? And I said, up until when? Because they say, who said, I be minor, yan sanko yechi anko fa sanko fana. We ain't going anywhere. They said, Americano, metie from church history, let me have an angle of coming into from ministry. No? Nise me started busa whole questions because I always was a critical mind person, asking a lot of questions. Growing up in ministry, there be an busa questions. And to a point, and I called myself practical Christian. What do I say? Make it more sophisticated and nice. But it didn't mean nothing. We were still a Christian following the Roman stuff. What do I say? And my point is say, Mensah has to come because back be not be fixed here. I think it will do us very well. Because believe it or not, and yet the president cannot be at your it is what the pastors are saying and they run a chrono. And our politicians, a play to satisfy the congregation through their pastors. And it is an arm of the governance and an arm of the country. You cannot pretend doesn't exist. And yes, sir, you go nowhere. Which is why I'm saying, he has to come again. Or not in particular. Because of a lot of clout on him. Yeah, he has a lot of clout. The only umbrella. No who said, Roman Jesus now come one. Is he willing to go the extra mile and talk about why the so-called Yeshua HaMashiach, who said Jesus Odeno, was a black man and not end there, But tell us the true story of what happened. If he doesn't know it, that's okay. That's fine. But it's better to say, ebibini na yegusu per story, because they have decimated most of our stories. And until America say there's nyamesem and there's Christosum sem. They are two different things. They don't go together. So, Christosum pa say Christosum and the bar say bejini pa. And think at the team and Baba money. Uncle ye, what you say? Abundance is not kind, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. In front about them, with a sabio, I know she's summoners. Mean the attempt, I mean, they can't some cricket. Yeah, dear, no, let's even cut away the 2,000 years of the fake story, no, up to a point. Near even from slavery, in fact, 600 years, crab is in there. I don't think we can write home about this. Say it is something that we have to continue doing. It hasn't worked. It hasn't helped us in any way. It hasn't done any good for us in any shape or form. We need to make a U-turn. Na yen sankwechi ho na mpese meka ho asem no. So, se meka se metie from the Christian side, and na mabetie etie Christopher no. And I mean, who say youth of Ghana say to buy memoshe no many ade na Bible can say Jesus does not exist. In the New Testament don't born a chini ade but they went as far as saying say ade no cry ni want to be anywhere say common sense fine, it has its place. And also betwem ko. And they say okay ni enko head the way chire ko say na akomfo no nyina wo ho. The akomfo no ye no. In fact, I don't know Old Testament no, which means somebody copied someone. What I'm going at this point, somebody must have copied someone, because a baby mine ewo that and sana Bible no ba. And at what stage and ye throw Bible na and ye kwan ye fa so ye gina ye ne ye komfosem ne ye nwantwa ne ye no nyina etimi coincide this because Queen Elizabeth dey kra me say nanse na ye hunu na nke nim kra se bro ne kra nim nwantwa e sacrifice ye nim. But some way, somehow, from Genesis to Malachi, and no more course, so many different no more in Saul Cohu, one ni a seer, no near the day, no ma, ye never be named in fact Ghana to date. Have you asked yourself that question? Say, how did such a coincidence happen? Intimate and woman who say, any idea no, yet you are no, any baby, so, and me what theory be. My friend back the catapult theory. All that simply means is so tight, catapult tight. So over tight. Now the further you can stretch back, what do you say? The more you can stretch back now. Who really see how far it may project now. The projectile now is dependent on how far back you stretched it. Simply put, we have to go back, real back, and have a real understanding of how we got here and what got taken away from us. And sana yetimia kweyenim. So yeah, that's a theory. But I think it makes sense. Maybe I'm friend a catapult theory. Tight. Analogy ne bino no. Enti a Christosum no. I think it's about time say you be just here de funkum fra. And it's becoming apparent that most pastors, charismatic folk, try to do a quantity. This was not part of how we used to do charismatic. Sorry time no. My father grew up from a sorry. Time na buy and son and no babisi Pentecostals for no so. Na just started bad mouth sorry for no. And if you want to jump back charismatics, so what I say. And then the obedience and the coming is almost twice so. But you see, also confounding in our bad internet age now. Farah can be say the best thing that happened to the black man is the introduction of the internet. They say be by YouTube. Yeah, ultimately can confound shape and even young people are that for that matter. And by now confound dressing nice, na baby come on. Internet just say we have to just go back and fix what we were doing. In fact, get to the stage where we got interrupted, fix that, and then move forward. Because this thing is not working. You don't have to go far to find out. It's not working. I'm telling you. Who can say tribes? Opa just say. One of our tribes be seen there. before our tribes. In the head day, and I'm mutimi boy no to go. Now, son who say Okofa Israel be the abediso. Nancy cried tears, Yakofa bo, ABC cathedral. Hey, dear assembly. Cathedrals of business no for play, we go is Yakofa bo, a cross 7 eyes. Sa bo no zubiguha. And must be make a man who see. Metie are confounding in Alba, abetie the youth of today. Now, for me, Tiamo Banning, last person I met in saying, the Mufred Imami Grace, Revelations. And she has somehow become a platformer, accommodating everybody on there. Now, in the beginning, it looked like, say, no, a Christopher on a platform. But then she used to mention, say, or no spirituality there. That's what she does. Now I think she's making it straight up to people. And don't tell her I could tell her with a free recommendation. Yeah, could go tell her Revelation. Never ni pay baho, never small mocha. Would winning now to 279 Nekusia say the virgin birth, the resurrection story, reincarnation, law of karma. So number 4. One must be true. What I say, you can have it both. Because one doesn't allow the other one to exist. Enti amwakwata simokoka se onkasa ye bone na okonfobi beba at the age of 12 obeje asantemaya boso abagana menina ayagire di amwagu nsore no. There's some truth in it. Reincarnation adwuma no. The powers that be are coming back. So no mo baso akra tiase ma no mabetentem bodies ya no mabetentem ayo de so moye. So na me che no. Inti no me pese me kire say emra yegusu eye de eye no, we need to make sure say yakoye chi akọ peke nuggets ni nyina ba yet me move forward appropriately. And the Mami Grace as my making all these people coming on there are making powerful statements. Christopher baby, Hare Krishna for baby, Obia ba hobia ba kanasem. Then something nyina mo so metiti adam ho say at the end of the day no, it is very important say because if we really want to go forward there, then we cannot mix the two. Christosum need to come to a halt. They need to understand, say, adieno eye juma, eye foreign stuff, any edebe fraye bibisem. Now, if we don't know about the story of the real Yesu no buy na semna, we better go find out. Yeah, instead of pretending, say, yem fan sa muni adeno. Like Obiaka say, oh, civilization began in Egypt. No, we are not now, baby. That's rubbish. Because you can't say that and turn around and come and tell you, say, Bruni Nachiro Nyansa. Mom, in fact, is the one that taught him something. She said, you got to see. When you know documented history, so. And sometimes I marvel. Me point out and say, Mom make sure some more my dear say mu dear them more videos near the YouTube shows more yin. Mama have two no together. Mami Grace can be. Either you need to understand, say you cannot have the Jesus philosophy, no, Roman Jesus philosophy, no, with a BB7 philosophy. They do not go together. And that is even not spirituality. In fact, of course, I know you know spirituality, no. So what I say. Because in spirituality, it has to converge. Because and training her to live here, negative and positive energies and they operate. Right? That's all that it is. And then based on with nature, they say they are and they manifest it accordingly. Sana there was no need for a sorry crow. There's no need for offering. Tight to your friend is saying. So winning, the greatest scam that ever happened to humanity, and it's so winning. Let's do nothing. Concept of heaven and earth. So yeah, another bogus theory that don't make any sense. What I say? And since I can be able to pin and Dr. Mensah Otabil say this is what he really found, and he didn't really write it in his book, but this is what he was trying to arrive at. At least I've made my point. Say information on the buy, it doesn't make sense. I was in it too, but my eyes are open now. Think in a scripture can say, may the eyes of your understanding be enlightened. Sir, Paul can say, one of the most ruthless you've no, a Christopher. No. He can sing be to tune from him no na puha. So a real person cry, nobody knows to date. There was a lot of impersonation going on. But also the typology, finding old stories and remaking them, reenacting them. My theory back home, in fact, 20 minutes. A very grave theory, the grave side theory. What who say, Sa Yesu asua for ne hwan I see Christopher so nyina. There's no one single grave. Obi a okọ is that be catch. There's no one real single grave because say ahana Paul that ahana see we hana we that be see that. But 4,000 years BC before almost ankrofo e be ba no. Ye be create almost story no. Ahemfo no mo transim nya tutanka mo nyina bodies nyina go Egypt. And disappear. Mo kwa mo de na eni ho. Mo susu kro ya na mbasa mo de never believe pe entiase Yesu agidi na yenye mene. You can't even prove a thing. When you Christian be argument, you can say you are challenging God. Now you are challenging God. I feel you see Yesu, and God cry about him. And you can't say something. Because Madame for Cremoni be, Miss Madame for me, take Cremoni be or more debate be. And now all catch there, I can say, okay, I accept it. Your Jesus and God are one. So you remember he came, he died, he was crucified, he was buried for 3 days. I said, yes, to save us. All right, I was okay. So within that 3 days, when he was buried, God is buried, yes. And why he came was born 17 or by, and until by you see, no. I don't want to go all of that. Now, actually, my next one, I'll be breaking it down, actually. And I said, so at the time that he was buried, and if that was God that was buried in the ground for 3 days, who was in charge? Who was in charge when Jesus was buried? Keep the guy cry as a son cry and Kenya freedom kakra. Of the moment no cry na be nyankopon no. Are you very, very funny and sad at the same time? It munyai honokan because it doesn't hold water anymore. Ade bomono. Say nyina ye hu say ade bomono. And normal don't change just like that. Ne obade boy bia granle ma ye de o say pepepe ansa na ye be wu nipa ba asase so no say obosom se nsuo kra na be ma ba je say oba na be ma ne hia o mo hia wie no seed ne be mu wie a na afa kra na betrem na bosom kra na ase nsuo kra na ase hwa ha kro no e de akola na betrem. That's what really happens. And you say, we know back to Hono be a back say, many baby and share so many say, I didn't Holy Ghost and I am here. That's the same way I'm Timo Catcher and I'm my idea. I dear part and I have one bum job. It doesn't make sense. Movie swap, Mosia Sasso Kuno, you kuna was sorry, I resurrected. Or sorry, so the same people. My next episode, I met them. Between the ages of 13 and 29 now, I'm for Kano Kubala Kumaya Sana. Yeah, everybody when can say, I must say any relevant in that. Really? Oh, from age 0 to 12, a dear partner day. 13 to the rest, the youthful exuberance. Nina goes on, I refer system. And then I mentioned why you and baby your coy, no, or would try on wasem. They say, no, so appear into Benday. So, and just my maker, you see any panel 3 days or in Uncle Ponty, 3 days, no, but some of her. This is one freedom. None into a buyer so crown was our by Jahoko when we in a Juma. I feel them na West Pamcho Pam no channel. We need to get back to our roots. Message I don't know. Me say I didn't to me say come there. I'm going to start no. And I to me say come me clip here. I'm going to take my time and do for instance an episode spa because it's becoming evident to say we have been we have been misled. We've been duped. Or they say bewitched for that matter. And we need to get back to our senses, wake up, use our head. The only year we are here, we graduate grandson watch your paper and Christianity. The boy was so around. And Sakra knock of a Bible like him. Maybe. You're wrong. And what I'm saying is that this whole thing is what is messing us up as a nation. And let me end with what is going on now in terms of an affiliation with politics. I didn't think I will be to say also a yourself an apostle, also a engineer, Kantanka. Now, produces such a genius. This is the modern Imhotep of our time. No produces such things as vehicles, televisions, fridges. A dear no one to me. They say crowd the last year expo boyero. Matis almost say or the Punsio crab a petrol. I'm here. Now we are government in power now to say somewhere and do their own investigation. Own investigation finding out what is really going on. Yeah. Because they are not really interested. Probably because and now they will call home 10%. What do I say? Because why? Why is all that he's been doing for the last 30 to 50 years? Now no certain government free rollers is so based in there. Obedient to me cars and testing the ground at the oil on a massive scale. And I'm not even talking about buying cars near the idea. The technology near Adrina or the idea. More management transfer, more charm and every moko. Maybe you can't am in the Atosana. What is actually wrong with us? They say party politics be no organ and this is who a bromo as antahin a parno motimono. Never no more yet. Why artists say they also been here the intino way and I find out their code. The near Yamba announced that. And I don't think he really cares anymore. Because of tracking a history and then the papa and the Omoya, they did not want us to have liberation from any time. Yeah. Because who talks about Ghana with beyond aid and then turns around and don't even care about what you are doing in Ghana to work to the totality of the entire continent's freedom? It doesn't even hold water. And they're not sure say a selfish interest. They are filling their pockets. Into new party, I'm who say any African Continental Unity Party, ACUP. I think they are very soon going to be registered as a party. I started grassroots, and it is working on the continental level. Ghana, the same thing goes for South Africa, the same thing goes for Nigeria, the same thing goes for other places in Africa. With the mindset, say, what we could not do or what we got interrupted at 1963, we need to start off from there and work our way up again. Because, yes, one single country, Rwanda, na go see say. Ma Kagame free move back on a heady besi. Besides, said the balloon there, you remove. From the political angle, the churches are messing it up. And to me say, ACUP for agenda no. And I made them a say, what they are doing. Look them up. Friends at www.africanacup.org. Now I check them out. What I say? And ACUP for say that they've agreed in principle. So when you're acquiring back for power, they are going to work with people like Kantanka. So that whatever he has to give his country and the continent, all he has done is on a small scale. He needs to scale it up to the point, say, a bit more affected the entire continent at large. The farms, so organic and normal way, how else do you want him to expand? About the same. Shokoloko bangoshi. Baba Bessie. When you're money, money. I'm making sure that you're more yeno. A tasum. Christosum for the say, once by Shibruta in the next 10, 15 years. And when I'm near back, I'm a pet at the ashe. That the chapad ashe. And to Manu see her. The Yamijamo. Or body and Cremuin also. Or maybe be a similar year. Piao.